Up here in the Batcave this morning. I gotta be careful how I talk about this. This thing here, and the reason I have to be careful is because as I've said before recently, my channel is really, it's on the edge, teetering on the edge. I've gotten so many strikes now that I can't do anything wrong. So I gotta be careful how I discuss this. But this thing here is just, come on, like it's so fake. It's anyone with any kind of discernment at all could just look at this and see it for what it is. The problem is, I think there's enough people who have just been worn down mentally, or just want something like this to be real so they can lash out against it. There's enough of those people that this story might appeal to. And it has nothing to do with smarts. You know, some of the most intelligent people, great philosophers, all kinds of different great thinkers we've had in our society are liberal progressives. I mean, it's not, intelligence isn't restricted to either side of this issue. And unfortunately, it becomes one of those left-right issues, when I think it should just be a normal human issue, that you could just look at this and see how ridiculous it is. The first one they did like this, and I don't know if I should say the word, but I'll put it on the screen there, with the tiki torches, and the for some reason they took some kind of Hawaiian motif for that. It's just so silly. Like, anyone that gives it a bit of thought, I think would come to the conclusion that this is, you know, it's something being perpetrated by a group inside our I've got to put the word on the screen. I just need to get through the summer. If I can get through the summer, I'm going to be okay. But I'm kind of on the edge right now as far as getting in trouble again. That's why I've been working on the second channel, like kind of putting old videos there and kind of trying to get more people over there, or let people know I'm going to be over there, because I may have to go there, you know, permanently. But it's just so fake. It's just so fake. And the thing is, there are people that know this, but want to use it to get upset for other reasons, or use it as a weapon to attack people with, metaphorically. And it's too bad. I mean, look at this. How could this possibly be real? You know, it goes back to people not believing that their word on the screen could possibly have any nefarious ideas or aims. The whole game is to manipulate people. It's also a thing from the word on the screen. War through deception. They work very closely with the U.S. intelligence agencies, because this is their country. That's the whole problem. You can't just kind of know a little bit. You kind of have to understand a lot of what's at play completely, like what this country is, why it was put together, what the aims of it, and you can't really explain that to people. I mean, you can, but, you know, there's a lot to it, and then normally people just think you're fucking nuts. Which I think is something that's independent of knowing what's really going on. You can be nuts and know what's really going on. I mean, look at me. But I think people have to really want to be fooled by this. I mean, there always will be people that will, younger people that maybe don't have a lot of experience. It's not a racial thing. It could go across all racial boundaries, and sexualities, and any kind of makeup. It's not any certain kind of group that's going to fall for this. It's those that are really unaware, really inexperienced, really young, or are duplicitous and know it's bullshit, but yet want to act like they think it's real for different purposes. And those people can be very dangerous. Just in discourse online, you know, they can really make a mess of things. It's a information war, really. I mean, this is war. What they're doing here. It's a war on the people, is what it is, really. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Controlling you. It's a cattle control situation. These people are farmers, and they see us as their livestock. And they want to have us in a situation where we're easier to farm, or we're the easiest to farm. But it's sad when I see this, and like I look on X, and X meaning Twitter, not the good X, but the and it's just like all these people that, like I said, either are too inexperienced to see through it, who believe it, and those people who know it's BS, but will still use it for a political talking point for their side. And like I said earlier, it shouldn't be a political thing, although it is. You try to make it that way. It's a humanity thing. We're very much all on the same side. Whether you're left or right, or black or gay or straight, or whatever it is, our people that rule over us see us as one whole group. When we're constantly trying to divide ourselves into little smaller groups. You know, I'm this, we're that. We're advocating for our rights. No, we're advocating for our rights. No, they don't see us as different groups. They see us as one group of cattle. And we're spending all this time dividing ourselves and fighting amongst ourselves. We do their job for them. And just, I mean, I saw this last night, and I was just going to try to ignore it, because I've seen these kind of things recently in the last few years especially. But seeing it all over X today, and people actually like, you know, y'all got a Nazi problem. It's like, no, you have a comprehension problem. You have a veil problem. You have a scales on your eyes problem. You know, imagine you, just for a minute, just entertain the thought that you're like that this was a real thing. And that's what you go with for like a uniform for to wear. That's how you present yourself. Like, you could easily, if this were a real thing, you could easily catch these guys leaving or leaving the scene or showing up on the scene. That stuff never makes it to TV. It never makes it how they climb into a pickup truck. I mean, yeah, not a pickup truck. They climb into like a cargo truck and are driven to another site half a mile away into a parking lot where they all get into their regular Fed cars. You never see that stuff. And they won't let you follow them. Try to follow these guys. You can't. You know, a police detail will keep you away from them for your safety. You'll never see, you could, if this were real people, if I was a crazy, like, white nationalist guy, well, I mean, I am, but if I was a crazy white nationalist guy that wanted to march, well, alright, if I was a crazy white nationalist guy who wanted to march and wear some really bad outfits with his friends, I would be stopped instantly. How would I arrive to the scene without without my organizational part of the situation be seen? How would I get away from the scene? I wouldn't. These guys have cops all around them because for their protection, and what it's really doing is just keeping people from following them and seeing their point of origin, seeing where they're coming from, seeing where they're going. You shouldn't have to do that anyway. Look at that. Look at that. The worrying thing is there are enough unaware people who are gonna just believe this, and they prime people to believe things like this because they just worn them down. People are worn down. They're angry. Prices of food and goods are going up, and they don't know who to blame. There's no one to lash out at because it's the frog in the boiling pot. It's like everything's going up. Your grocery store, who do you get mad at? Who do you take that out on? Who directly take that out on? You can't afford your insurance, and the news is just telling you it's these people's fault. No, it's these people's fault. No, it's your side's fault. No, it's our side's fault. No one's really allowed to discuss how this is all really happening. That's a top-down situation. And instead, they try to gash at every side up they can. They divided everybody into so many different sides, and they run around and just try to gas those sides up so that they all fight together, and no one has time to say, hey, wait a minute, where'd they get that many tiki torches all at once? You know, it'd be easy to find out like who these people are if you were allowed to, but you know, like I said, if it was like people off the street like me doing this kind of thing, first of all, it wouldn't even happen. You know, it used to be, if a group like this organized, they would put plants in there. They'd get guys to, you know, control it. But now I don't even think they're allowing people to do it on their own and infiltrate them. Even though, who would these days? But who knows? You know, even if it was some crazies that wanted to do this kind of thing, they used to, in the old days, would infiltrate it and then, you know, get information and then take them down. Now they run every operation themselves. It's clear. Like, every opposition group that's like this, what we had that, I can't even say the word, but I'm going to put it on the screen. Those people, it's all fake. None of it's real. And that's, again, the problem we find ourselves in, is not only is that stuff fake, the whole thing is fake. It's a big bullshit tree. It all has to be fake, because if any part of it were real, the game would be up because you'd be able to see it. It's the old Jim Leahy shit quote concept, where you got a quote covered with shit. You know, you can't tell that's covered with shit because there's no clean parts on it. So to you, it's just a quilt. But if there was a clean part, you'd say, hey, wait a minute. Oh, wait, this whole thing is shit. It's a bad analogy, but that's, you know, it all has to be fake. Everything around you has to be engineered. It's an actor-based reality, as my sometimes friend, Aaron Haywood says. I think we're all right now, actually. I don't know what's going on with Aaron, but I don't know. I like him, so I hope things are cool. But, yeah, it's all kayfabe. You're living in the WWE. And what do? You just kind of control what you can about yourself. You and your loved ones have some faith in God. You know, try to understand the mysteries of the Bible. Try to follow your spiritual gut instinct, and just do what it leads you to, and try to do what's right, and try to not to freak out too much about stuff like this because you have no control over it. I freak out about stuff like this just because it's just how it is. I mean, some of us can't just relax and see it for what it was. I wish I could just be like, oh, that's silly, and then just forget about it. But because I see what it does, I see the effect it has. You know, the cascading effect. Yeah, whatever. I mean, just thought I'd bring this up because it was funny and it was in my mind, and it's just so ludicrous that I think in my mind, like, anyone would think this was real. Come on. But, people have been worn down, and the victims of spellcraft, and the victims of programming, and the victims of mantras, and just, to get things into someone's head, you repeat it over and over. And there's just a lot of really wounded, angry, hurt people in the world right now. And some can't see it, some can see it and pretend they can't. It's too bad, but it's a job of some of us to point at it and laugh. So that's what I do. Thanks for visiting me up here. Hope to see you soon. Till next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.